You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean,
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Coming up at 7, we'll hear from Tech offensive coordinator Zach Kitley, Tech defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter, as their teams or their respective units getting ready for Baylor on Saturday night. 6:45, this day in sports history. We'll also have a secret word of the game, secret word of the day. Your chance to win $10,000 from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone. All you have to do is listen and then enter at doublet97.3.com. It's pretty simple. You could win $10,000 on November 18th.
Coffee, Mountain Dew, and sports. More coffee and dew than sports, but it's there for sure. The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
Is it you're getting stuck because you want to call it the secret word game?
No, I don't know. It just slurred it out of my mouth.
Well, this is not the first time.
I know.
And I say this because I think you do have it in your head that way.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
I'm trying to figure out where your head's at, why you're stuck on this.
I think I'm trying to figure where my head is.
Well, sure.
And so are many others, okay? I think we have a theory, but it's not true.
It could be that you want to call it the secret word game.
Could be.
As opposed to the secret word of the day. But then you're like, no, I need the word game in there.
We'll be visiting Dr. McGuire's office for extensive treatment this afternoon, Jamie.
Yeah. So I had we had a conversation a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was with my father-in-law when he was in town, and we were talking about his daughter.
Okay.
AKA my wife.
Your wife. Okay.
And she knows so much about so many.
Right.
Okay. Like she has so many friends and don't you remember this person from when we lived 10 years ago here and they had a daughter and she moved off to this place and married this guy. And I'm like, how do you remember all that stuff? Well, I see it on Facebook. Okay. I see it on Facebook. Oh, that's how I remember. Okay. And I'm like, how do you remember these people? How do you remember so much about so many people? Yet, she kind of struggles at times. Like, there's the internal family issue of what time do you work today, Allison? Oh, I work at 7 o'clock, and then 15 minutes later. So what time do you work? Okay. But which bothers the 17-year-old. I just told you. 10 minutes ago.
I can hear that tone in my head.
Okay. Yeah. And yet she can tell you where we lived 15 years ago, the people across the street where their kid that moved off to Georgia and got married to this guy, and she knows what they do for a living. And so the father and I were having this conversation because his wife is very much like his daughter. And so the point that Jeff's trying to make right here, I wonder, because you are so full of so many tidbits, so many little tidbits. You have all this information that you've collected from everywhere, okay?
Right.
That sometimes all the information just gets in the way of the simple stuff.
It does.
And I question that with my wife as well.
No, I think there's probably some truth to that. Yeah.
So if you just put blinders on like I do, Chuck, look down, not get on social media, it seems like there's more space in there just for things to happen.
I feel like I'm a computer that needs to have some files deleted.
Some files deleted. See, the smarter you are, the more difficult it is. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple man. I am not. Yeah. I don't consider myself a super smart guy. I think that clears things out for me.
See, I'm on the constant hunt for the tidbit.
I know. Yes, we're well aware. Well aware.
And I'm getting ready for basketball season, and
But it's not. I don't think that you're on the hunt for the tidbit. I think you're on the hunt for somebody to tell you that's a great tidbit.
Oh, no. I'm on the hunt for the tidbit. It's both, Jamie. Okay. It's both. Because you've got to come up with the tidbit, okay, to get the payoff of, and I'm getting ready for tidbit season with for the next 3 or 4 months with my partner in crime, Mark Finkner, on Lady Raider basketball, which when we go on the road, you'll hear this, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? You would hate our room.
There's no question. I love you both, but I would hate that room.
Yeah.
He's a tidbit guy too.
Yeah,
so we're outdoing each other. Is that what we're doing?
Oh yeah, we'll see how we can come up with something. Hey, how about this? We'll come up with some kind of juicy stat or juicy tendency or juicy kind of behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. So. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Bring back the bell and only ring it when Chuck is right about something. Won't be annoying and ringing often. Right. You're right about that.
I think that was one of the funny things you've ever said. Tidbit season.
Tidbit season. Yeah, we're getting ready for that.
Me up.
Yeah. The Micah I was thinking of, and somebody sends a picture of Micah Hyde from Iowa. Thank you.
Plays for the Bills.
Was Micah Alway. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Micah Alway. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, he was a good one.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Number 18.
Somebody sends a picture off the Yates Flooring Center chat line of the window trail, and then a picture of them hiking it. Okay?
Yes, I've done that one.
Okay.
That's
what did you say? That's Big Bend, is that right?
Big Bend, yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's awesome. Have fun.
How about this? Shout out to the FMS 8th grade A team. They completed a perfect regular season last night by beating Cooper MS 22, that's middle school, 22-8. These two teams play again November 1st for the city championship.
Sweet.
It's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, well.
There'll be a lot of scheming.
See.
There'll be a lot of scheming by the 8th grade coaches. Well, don't you know the 8th grade coaches? Yeah. Those guys probably work their absolute tails off because they want to get up to the varsity.
Well, I can tell you those guys over at Cooper, they better, and anywhere else in the city, they better get their wins now, because when Neil Woodman gets up there to 8th grade, which is coming soon, you're going to see a superstar.
Is that okay?
Superstar,
because he can run it.
That's good news for the Friendship folks, that the FMS 8th grade team won it all. Last year, and I think the last couple years, it'd been the Heritage 8th grade team that had gone undefeated. So that means they've got a lot of talent coming.
Okay,
that's good.
Okay, 6:37 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll give you one more tidbit, little conversation starter about Texas Tech football. We talked quite a bit about how the West Virginia win was the biggest since in terms of disparity over a Big 12 school since going back to 2013 or something like that. Tech allowing only 10 points to West Virginia. It's the fewest against a Big 12 opponent since Tech won over TCU, then number 24 in the 2013 season, 20-10. That was the opening game of that Big 12 season. Coach Kingsbury's team would start off 7-0 before they lost to Oklahoma on the road. So, I mean, that win last week, and I know that we've talked about and said that that wasn't the best West Virginia team, blah blah blah, but we haven't had too many of those games where we dominated somebody.
I think highly of Baylor, and they beat Baylor the week before, so they weren't too bad.
Right.
Not the cream of the crop, but
right.
Again, it's a very even Big 12 conference, it feels like to me. I do think Oklahoma State, probably TCU, K-State, Texas, you can throw them into that group. Maybe are a little bit better than some of those teams like West Virginia or Kansas, Iowa State or whatever. But I don't think it's by much.
Okay. Excuse me. Tech volleyball is in action tonight. They're 14-7, 3-5 in Big 12 play. They take on the number 2 team in the nation, Texas. This will be at Gregory Gymnasium down in Austin. So good luck to that Red Raider volleyball team as they take on a mighty foe, I would say,
that's fair.
in Texas tonight. But volleyball's been much better.
Top of the morning to you. Oh, wait, that wasn't a sneeze.
That was just a cough.
That was just a cough.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. But I mean, they've done substantially better.
Oh, no question.
With what they've got going on, and so that's good as that season starts to wind down. Basketball actually starts Tuesday. We'll be talking about an exhibition game next week for the Lady Raiders. Men don't have one, but the ladies do on November the 1st.
So, okay.
They take on Midwestern.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we're not jacking around too much. Just go in there and kind of get tuned up for the season opener, which is November the 7th, I believe.
Okay.
Girl-boy doubleheader that night.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
Well, busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week
I know.
together. Why would
Yeah.
we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right.
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is the 26th day of October, 2022.
Yes.
Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I stopped for a second there. I was.
You had to ponder a tidbit. It's fine.
I did. I've got one in my head for you.
Well, go right ahead. Give us your tidbit.
No.
Because this isn't that good today.
No.
1934. While Washington Senators player-manager Joe Cornyn is honeymooning with Mildred Robertson, owner Clark Griffin's niece and adopted daughter, Cornyn gets traded to the Red Sox.
Wow.
It's interesting.
That's why I brought it up. 1960. The American League approves the Washington Senators' move to become the Minnesota Twins and announces franchises in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. for the 61 season.
That would be the Angels then.
Yes. And they would also then become the Rangers then when they moved that Washington team to. Yeah. There were two. 1968, future world heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman wins the Olympic heavyweight gold medal.
Nice.
1975, Cuba beats Mexico for the fourth Pan Am game gold medal in baseball. 1982, Philadelphia Phillies Steve Carlton becomes the first pitcher to win 4 Cy Young Awards. 1993, the NFL announces new expansion teams in Carolina and in Charlotte. Well, I guess it's Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. It's just one team.
Yeah.
1997, World Series. Florida beats Cleveland 3-2 in Game 7 at Pro Player Stadium, Miami, for the Marlins' first ever title. Livan Hernandez is your MVP. In the year 2000, Baseball World Series. I bet Jamie can tell me what happened.
In 2000?
Mm-hmm.
Yankees win a World Series this day in history?
They beat the Mets 4-2.
Yeah. It would be, if Jeff was asking me, that was clearly a one what they won.
Yeah.
A year later, they would blow one to the Marlins. Or no, to the...
D-backs?
Yeah, the Diamondbacks.
And what was even better about 2000? Your MVP was Derek Jeter. So they beat the Mets, they win the World Series, and Derek Jeter was the MVP.
Everybody's happy.
Jamie Lent was about 16 feet off the ground that day.
One of my favorite Derek Jeter moments ever, the Mets had tied the series with a win in Game 2, and I mean, so they moved to Shea, and it's like crazy. Bobby Jones is on the mound, and the Mets fans are just, okay, we got the series, and Jeter hit leadoff, and first pitch he went yard. Series over. I mean, the Yankees pretty much were in control the rest of the way after that. Like any momentum that they thought they had, Jeter grabbed it, and that was a very, very big swing in that series.
2005, The Chicago White Sox beat the Houston Astros 1-0 in Game 4 at Minute Maid Park to sweep the Astros and win the White Sox first World Series title in 88 years. Jermaine Dye was your MVP. And in 2018, the longest baseball World Series game by both innings and time took place. The Dodgers beat the Red Sox 3-2 in the 18th inning, 7-hour and 20-minute affair of Game 3 at Dodger Stadium. Max Muncy walk-off home run.
Muncy.
Muncy, yes, not Munchie.
He may have had a case of the munchies, but
after 18 innings, I think they all did. It's National Mincemeat Day and National Pumpkin Day.
National Pumpkin Day.
Yes.
Okay, good day for us to go pumpkin hunting then.
It is. Wow,
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
That's top drawer scheduling there is what that is.
Well done.
Happy birthday, former Red Raider wide receiver coach Eric Morris turns 37 today. Seth MacFarlane is 49, Keith Urban 55, CM Punk 44, and Pat Sajak is 76. And on this day, we could be talking about the shooting at the OK Corral. But I'm just going to tell you to watch Tombstone.
Okay.
I am going to, however, tell you about 1825.
Hell's coming for you. Right?
That's from the movie, yes. 1825, the opening of the Erie Canal. On this day
Oh, how about that?
in history.
All right, time now for our secret word. It's a little game we play every day here on Double T 97.3 at this time. Give you a word, and then you go to doublet973.com and get entered in, and you could be a winner from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone, where they make your house a home every single day. Go to doublet973.com and enter this word, Cougars. 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 The Cougars will be in the Big 12 next year. The Red Raiders already have beaten the Cougars this year in football. But Cougars is our secret word here at 6:51 on this, the 26th day of October, year of our Lord 2022. Okay, Cougars, your secret word. So go to doublet973.com and you could win 10 grand from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone. We will give that money away November the 18th. So Eric Morris is only 37 years old?
That's the number I had. I mean, double check it.
No, that's much younger than what I thought he was. But, I mean, it's a young man's game. But, I mean, you think...
Well, in
37 years old.
Yeah, in 2008, he was on that team.
Born in 1985.
He would have been like 22 or 23 or something, 21.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so on his...
So that's 14 years ago, so that would totally make sense.
Yeah.
I bet he was 23 in 2008.
Yeah, probably so. So on the day of his birth is the day of the Don Deckinger Game 6 call in the 85 World Series. In the ninth inning, the Royals go to the ninth, trailing the Cardinals, and for the first time in the history of the World Series, a team that goes to the ninth with a chance to clinch did not. There was an umpiring call at first base. I mean, he looked safe to me. There was an awful lot of other things that took place as a result of that, after that allowed the Royals, put the Royals in position to win. But the thing that was, for me personally, about that night was I was doing a junior college football game, and we happened to be in Lawrence playing the Haskell Indian Junior College, Jamie. And these guys were of all Indian descent that played on this football team. They all had Indian names. Okay. And so we carried the station I was working for. We carried the Royals, and we get done with the ball game, and the guy back at the station said, "Hey," he goes, "this game now is tied." He goes, "We got a chance if you want. We can just pitch it right to the game, and I'll put it on." So I said, "Okay." We go from blah 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 to Royal Stadium. It's 50 some odd miles away. Here's Denny Matthews, and I no sooner said that, and Denny Matthews said, "There's a little looper up the line, and it's going to fall." And Dane Orge hits this pinch hit single down the right field line, and Jim Sundberg scores the winning run, and the Royals walk it off and then go on to win 11-1 the next day in Game 7.
Nice.
So I'd love to tell you I planned all that, but I did not.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Sure.
It's pretty cool. So anyway, that's 37 years ago today. All right.
Good timing.
54.
It's like going to the pumpkin patch on National Pumpkin Day.
That's right.
You're all about the good timing.
I'm all about the good timing. Mm-hmm. This is a good timing day for me, right?
Okay, so here's the question now.
Uh-huh.
We always say that I couldn't have planned that. I wouldn't have planned it, right?
Yeah.
How would you plan a game? Like if you could design your perfect game in whatever sport you want to put it on, how would you plan it? Would you plan a big blowout? Would you do a big comeback victory? Would you do a walk-off home run? Would you do a last-second touchdown? I mean, Chuck would probably do the last-second field goal. But how would you plan it? Because I don't know that I could plan it better than any game I've ever seen.
I like being surprised at the end about the outcome. I hate the gut-wrenching loss. I love the thrill of victory, though.
I would hit a bloop that I turned into a hustle double. I would advance to third on a sack fly and a ball that just barely gets away from the catcher. I would score. It's all about the wheels, McGuire. It's all about the wheels.
Wow, that's really good.
That would be like the broadcasters would say, wow, Lent really manufactured that run.
Manufactured. I love that.
Yep.
Love that. All right.
Your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
I think about 7:30, I'll admit to my outrage factory that I've been building over the last few years that I'm going to have to tear down. Okay?
It's not the Texas high school football games being played in New Mexico, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
There's just some things I don't know that I can let you get rid of.
No, this is all on me. All on me, and it was basically revealed to me Saturday night by my wife and daughter number one that I was wrong. So it's a not only am I wrong about something, but I was told, no, you're not only wrong, you're really wrong, and we're going to prove it to you. And they did in about 5 minutes. And I've had this outrage going on for about 3 or 4 years, probably, maybe at least 2 or more. All right, Texas Tech and Baylor on Saturday night. Jamie and I were just talking in the break about this just a little bit. I feel, for whatever reason, I feel pretty confident about this game.
I think there are reasons there that makes sense to me. I mean, just going off of the point that you just thumped a team that beat Baylor. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know the transitive property thing doesn't always work, but I mean, you can compare a little bit. You can feel like the Red Raiders are playing their best football of the season right now. Mm-hmm. Feels like to me they are. I mean, you got a complete offensive and defensive performance last week.
Special teams too, really.
Special teams was all right.
Yeah.
They didn't have any hiccups really. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. I don't know. I just I'm nervous. I'm just teetering back and forth on who I'm going to pick in the game.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Here is Coach Zach Kittley, because one of the things that they did against West Virginia, I mean, they came out right away, first drive, boom, 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 right down the field, and then did that same thing with the second one and got out to a 14-0 lead. Here's Coach.
The fourth down conversions were huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Will they keep the script for the first drive with tempo the same?
I hope so. Yeah. Something we're good at, that we've, kind of a stapled offense that we've had for years, and that we've, installed and ran a lot of those things throughout spring, summer, fall camp, all that. And again, I think it benefits us in a lot of ways. We're good at it. Our players like it. It protects the O-line some. Quarterbacks like it. So there's a lot of benefits to it. So we're going to try to use tempo as much as we can to our advantage. But, you got to start out fast with explosive plays and some of those things to get those tempo plays called. So we got to keep that going.
Explosive plays. I love that. He was also asked on Monday about knowing and when he knows they will go for it on fourth down, which alludes to what Jamie just said about the number of fourth down conversions they had on those 2 drives really propelled you into those end zones.
No, so I know on first downs, they give me they call it the magic number, and they say, hey, the magic number's 3. If the magic number's 3, then I know I basically have 3 downs to get to 4th and 3. So huge asset for a play caller. I love it. So you may not see our third down percentage may not be as high when you look at the end of the season, because I try to sequence play calls to make sure I just put ourselves in the best situation possible to get us to a manageable fourth down. We can go for it, because at the end of the day, if we can get to fourth down and go for it, it seems like it's given our team the best opportunity to win football games and keep the chains moving. So, we had a couple third down calls where we purposely maybe got on 3rd and 9, we got 7 yards, or I didn't go for the deep shot necessarily because I knew, hey, if I get to 4th and 3 or 4th and 2, we're going to go for this thing. And we felt like we had a great tempo package on some 4th and shorts, and it just worked out well for us. So huge for me to be able to have that, again, the confidence from Coach McGuire and be able to know that on first down, so I can really sequence my play calls to put the team in the best situation to be successful.
So there you go. So, it's not just hey, I think we ought to go for it here. They know. So I think when they know that and they've communicated that, how many times do you see hesitation, on the sideline I'm not talking about Texas Tech, but just in a game where you think the coach is trying to make that decision. Well, they've already made that decision. They made the decision on first down. Mm-hmm. So there's no hesitation. And that's sometimes where you're able to kind of catch a defense off guard, so to speak.
And for an offensive coordinator, you got to love the fact that you're getting the extra play so many times that you have a chance. I just think, I think this fan base has become so accustomed to it now, it's just part of the deal for the coaching staff. And so there's no, are we going to, are we not? We just know that we do. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's been a lot less hand-wringing from the fan base over the last few weeks, because it's just accept, okay, that's what we do.
Right.
Right. And so for those of us, including myself, who are, maybe a little bit more old school or whatever, and it was a little bit surprising and it went against the norm, I think the level of success that you've had with it, and then just the expectation of it's going to happen, allows you to accept it more and just it not be a surprise to you, and it not like jolt you with what nobody stands up and yells, "What are we doing here?" Right? Because we know what we're doing. This is what we stand up and say. This is what we do here. Let's go for it on fourth down.
This is what we do.
And again,
right,
that would be different if we weren't having success. Mm-hmm. We would be like, "Oh, not again." But now we're like, "Okay, let's go again.
Yeah,
let's go again."
We're having
three times on the first drive. Let's go.
We're having a ton of success, on fourth down, and it'd be. At this point in time, the Red Raiders are 20 of 32 on fourth down. That's 63%.
I wrote an article for the website this week on doublet97.3.com about, where was the game won. And I really felt like it was the interception by Dadrian Taylor Demerson at the end of the first half. Because if you don't get that and they score a touchdown there, it's 17-10 at halftime, and then they get the ball to start the second half, and it could be tied before
they got momentum
before we touch the ball offensively again. And so I thought that was a huge one. But the other, not singular play, but was just the opening couple of drives, the fourth down plays. It just, that's got to be really demoralizing for a defense. Like, wait a minute, why did they get the extra down? We stopped them on third down. Why do they get the extra down? Everybody, puts up their big videos, third down, But, like Texas Tech, you're like, no, but they still get another down? Well, why? Mm-hmm. It's got to be demoralizing for a defense that, for the course of those defensive players' lives, are like, hey, third down, big down, get off the field on third down, get a stop here. Okay, coach, we got the stop. No, stay out there. Because Tech's offense stayed out there. I know I'm somewhat joking, but it's got to be, for a defender, it's just got to be like, again,
Can't get off the field.
Yeah. And you want to talk about running extra plays. I'm sure it gives you a lot of extra plays when you're talking about being the number one team in the country for the number of plays that you're running. Well, fourth down's got to factor into that huge. Not just the fourth down plays, but the number of drives that continue because of a fourth down play.
Right. Steven points out, he said, I noticed a lot of cramps from the defense when we go fast, and they take pride in that. That offense takes pride in putting that defense in that position. Because they talked about that the other day about, hey, we know that we've kind of got a team on the rope, so to speak, when they're going down like that.
Yeah, I'm not usually the guy that's a big conspiracy theory guy on all that, but I mean, it was a nice weather day, and we were in the first quarter, and guys are going down with cramps. Really? Really?
Yeah. And he was asked about that.
It wasn't 108 or anything.
Coach Ketley was asked about that, if he'd like to see a rule on that, and you've kind of felt like there was some gamesmanship going on there a little bit there with West Virginia.
I just say, okay, well, you're out for the next, 5 minutes of game time.
Yeah, he brought that up. He's like, maybe sit out a series or something like that.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Oh, quarter.
But that drive or the rest of the quarter, because health and safety. I mean, we got to worry about these kids if they're out there getting all these injuries. We got to make sure they are able to walk when they're 60.
Well, it's no different in basketball.
Tongue, cheek.
Yeah, I got
fully planted.
No different in basketball when we act like we've been shot and we lay there for 5 minutes getting the crowd oohing on and ahhing and everybody's staring at him. Oh, what a gutsy performance. He got up and walked to the bench and he's back in sprinting up and down the court 30 seconds later.
Magic sponge.
Yeah. Like, was he really hurt or was he just kind of soaking it all in? And then the media types will be like, oh, man. What a gamer. What a battler.
Gamer.
Came back in, just fought through it. I wish I was that guy that could just accept that and be that way, but I'm like, he's milking it.
Your morning blend of sports.
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
And humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
All right, what you got?
Cowboys are definitely in the easy portion of their schedule right now, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, the Bears win for the first time ever in New England.
Yeah, again, I don't think the Bears or the Patriots are very good. So,
okay.
Yeah. Having watched that game more than I wanted to.
What was there nothing else on TV or just?
Well, I was really hoping there was going to be a baseball game.
Sure, no, I understand that.
There wasn't, so.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand that, but there was not. There was not.
I ended up flipping and watching more of Top Gun than the NFL game, if to be honest with you.
The old Top Gun or
the old one? Yeah.
Okay.
It was on, I don't know, some station.
Okay.
That is a worthy watch, Jamie.
Sure, it was good.
Have you changed your tune on the new Top Gun at all?
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest sequel of all time. Not in the conversation. It was okay.
What is?
Greatest sequel of all time?
Yeah.
If I'm going me personally, I would probably have to say Empire Strikes Back. But when you look at all of cinema, I would probably say Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, that's the default one.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the walk away
sure
answer for that question.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back, all about it.
All right.
Okay, my question for you today, I'm going to go to Red Raider basketball today.
Okay.
By my counting, 13 non-conference games this year for the Red Raiders, if you include the Big 12 SEC Challenge
sure.
with LSU. 13? That sound right to you?
It's on the schedule, right?
All right, I want you to predict the Red Raiders' non-conference record this year.
Ooh, okay. Let's see, Northwestern. I'm going to look for a hard one. I think Creighton's going to be a hard one. Maybe.
Oh, it's a top 10 team.
Yeah,
I would agree.
If they beat Creighton, then you would think that they would play Louisville, and these are going to be played in Hawaii.
Why would you not think it'll be Arkansas?
I mean Arkansas. That's what I meant. If you beat Creighton, you'll play number 10 Arkansas.
Yeah, they're another ranked team.
Yeah, they're number 10. That's where I'm going. I'm going with. I think Arkansas is going to be tougher than Creighton. I think that's just that team, that coach. He seems to be. He's an NBA, Eric Musselman, NBA heritage, with his dad and of course with himself as well. I think they built a good, strong ball club there. So I'm going to say Arkansas.
Okay. So the question was, what was Texas Tech's record going to be?
Oh, I'm
Arkansas.
Sorry. God. Need to put my listening ears on. Man, that was terrible. I'm going to say, Jamie, here's what I'm going to tell you. Can I have the last 5 minutes back? 13-0.
13-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
13-0.
12 games?
Jamie said there was 13.
There's 13 games? Okay.
I think I count 13.
With 13 games, I'm going to say...
Well, wait a minute. I'm counting 11 here, but that SEC game, remember, is in January.
Right.
So 2, 3.
Well, you got 7th, 10th, 14th, and then in Hawaii...
There's 3.
There'll be 3, so that's 6. Georgetown,
12.
Nichols.
There's 12. Yeah, you're right. There's 12 before the TCU game.
And then the LC.
12 before the LSU game.
Yeah.
12 before the TCU. Okay, 12 before TCU,
So
and
13.
then LSU makes 13.
Yeah.
Jamie was right.
Math is hard.
We should just trust that. With 13 games, I'm going to say 11-2.
I think I'm going to go with Jeff.
Okay.
I mean, you have the potential to play 2 top 10 teams there. No, I think I'm going to go. Okay, I'm going to go with 1 loss, and here's why. If you lose to top 10 Creighton, the schedule should get easier after that in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say you're going to lose to Creighton and end up with and win the rest of your next 2.
Yeah, it's probably...
And end up 12-1. That's what I'm going to say. So 13-0, man, that would be a Maui Gym Invitational Championship. That'd be awesome.
Big surfboard they're coming home with.
That would be so cool.
That would be cool, huh?
That would be so cool.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, even by your standards, Chuck, that was next level bad listening skills. You're right. Because he's already asked me who the game I'm looking forward to the most, and then I got distracted by the number 9 Creighton and the number 10 Arkansas, and I started thinking about Arkansas and beating them. And Arkansas, that's, geez.
The fun of the morning drive.
Arkansas equals 13-0 in Chuck language. I wonder what record the state of Idaho equals in Chuckese.
I think
know.
Chuck just got lost. It's fine.
I did. I got lost in. I'm still looking for clue number 7 over at the maze, right?
But how many people out there right now, Chuck, are chuckling, are having a good time?
Right.
Because
of my poor listening
you
skills.
answered a math question with Arkansas.
I think 11-2 is a stretch, much less 13-0. What are you basing that off of? What do we really know about this Texas Tech team? Well, I think that's a fair question. I think we know that they're athletic. I think we know they're talented. Can they play hard, play smart, and play together? I don't know.
And there's not a lot of meat on this schedule either.
Yeah, first off, you got to touch on that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can maybe start with the fact that you are preseason ranked top 25, right around that area. So clearly you're a pretty good basketball team, or the experts think you're a pretty good basketball team. But look at the schedule. I mean, tell me where you're going to find more than 2 losses. I'm sorry, I'll be shocked.
Right.
Northwestern State, Texas Southern, Louisiana Tech.
Right. Come on.
Georgetown is horrible.
Right.
Nichols, Eastern Washington, Jackson State.
Yeah, come on.
Houston Christian. They were so bad they changed their name.
South
Carolina State.
Yeah.
Who are you losing to there?
If you lose more than 2, then you got big problems.
So I get you saying we don't really know what this team is. I 100% agree. And you know what? After non-conference play, you're still not going to know. You're still not going to know.
Yeah.
You'll find out something in Hawaii, Creighton, Arkansas, Louisville, those are good programs. That you could face off with. You're not going to play all of them, but but you're not going to know because that schedule is so incredibly meh.
Yeah.
And that's why it's easy to say at least 11, right?
Right.
Even though we're not sure what the team is.
I mean, and really at worst it should be if you lose to Creighton, then you're probably just going to lose one in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to be 12-1.
I'll say this. What we saw last year with Mark Adams putting a team together and building chemistry in a hurry with so many new players, we also saw Chris Beard do a pretty good job of it as well, so I don't want to act like Coach Adams is the first to ever do it, but we saw Coach Adams last year do a really good job of that.
Yeah.
And so my confidence level in him being able to do that again with a new crop of guys and a bunch of newcomers coming in, my confidence level is pretty high that he'll be able to get that done just because of past history.
Right.
As opposed to future history.
Future history, right.
Which is completely different.
We're not back to the futuring it, which was on this day in 1985. That's what they went back to, and Back to the Future.
They did?
They went back to this day.
This day?
Is that right, Jeff?
23rd, not 26th.
Okay, then.
It was Chuck's birthday they went back to?
I think so.
I think it was
1955.
I think it was October 26th, 1985 that they went back.
I could have sworn I saw it over the weekend that it was Back to the Future Day. The one they went back to, not the one they went forward to.
I have no clue.
That's a different day altogether.
Okay.
I'm impressed that both of you have a memory that can have that in your
I can tell you all kinds of different little tidbits, but I can't answer a friggin' question.
What's
the
record going to be?
What's
Arkansas.
The record? Arkansas. What a DA I am sometimes.
October 21st.
October 20, how many?
October 21st.
Okay.
First.
Is Back to the Future.
You were both wrong, but you were both close.
Yeah.
So I had no clue. It
Paul
could have been in February for all I knew.
Paul says, would you like a refill on that coffee? Arkansas. Yes.
Arkansas.
Yes. Chuck starts my day off with a smile every day.
See? Okay? That's what it's about.
There we go. Bullfighter, I've got a concussion for how many times I've shaken my head. And he even put in parenthesis, shaking my head. I know what SMH means, Bullfighter. Chuck left without adult supervision leads to Arkansas.
You're tuned in to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
All right.
Still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Nice to have you with us this morning. We come to you from the First United Bank Double T 97.3 studio. They got multiple branches here in Lubbock. I'm not aware of any in Arkansas. And if you missed that today, then I'm sorry. But I bet if you're a customer, your debit card works in Arkansas, would be my guess.
Probably so.
Probably so.
Probably so. If you missed that portion of the show today, you need to go back and listen. And
I bet it's on the podcast.
You can listen to the podcast. Yeah. I guarantee you it is on the podcast.
It'll be on the Double T 97.3 Morning Drive portion of the podcast today, and you can go to double-t973.com every single day and get the best, I don't know, they say 45. I'm thinking probably closer to 5, 10, 15 minutes of the podcast from us.
Or you can listen to the whole entire show
right.
on the on-demand page at double-t973.com too. Right. So you want the full version, the trimmed-down version.
Light.
Either way.
Light.
You're going to hear Chuck answer a math question with the word
Arkansas. Some thoughts from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can go there as well and continue to post them. Remember, part of this show is supposed to be escape from life. Okay, so I think today has just been a complete escape from life. This Chuck with the ultimate millennial move, get offended by something he doesn't know anything about. Cracks me up to think about how many times he drove by that building shaking his head and grinding his teeth. I don't grind my teeth, but I do shake my head. And I did multiple times. like every time.
Yeah.
Bobby Hot Dog says, although I do not share your outrage, I also thought it was a tornado symbol on the side of Buddy Holly Hall instead of the B and the H. Somebody else says, I thought it was a tornado too. Somebody else, I thought it was a tornado too.
I would love to tell you that I don't have things that I share out or that I have outrage over.
You just don't share them.
Oh, no, I think I'm pretty vocal about some of them, a.k.a. College basketball teams not wearing the school colors in their shoes.
Right.
Okay.
How do you feel about people that send you pictures of college basketball teams that don't wear the same shoes just to show you that that's still going on?
I think that's terrific. I think that's Arkansas. Yeah, so I mean, we all. Jeff, what do you have a crazy outrage over that's silly? I mean, I fully admit that's, just I don't know, somewhat dumb on my part, but I don't like it.
I don't think it's crazy.
Okay, good, thank you.
That's partially where it comes. Do
you agree with me, Chuck? Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because if all three of us agree on it, then it's not crazy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that I probably have the biggest...
Asking me and Jeff, though, for approval is somewhat crazy.
Yeah.
The probably the biggest thing, one of my biggest frustrations in life with regards to, we work in an industry that is protected under the First Amendment in the freedom of speech. We get to come on here and say stupid things on the radio and have a good time. It's when people don't know what it actually says, and not like verbatim, like that they can't quote it, but think their First Amendment rights are being infringed on because they got fired for saying something stupid at work. Okay. If the FBI isn't knocking down your door to arrest you, your First Amendment rights are intact. Yeah. It's Congress shall pass no law, not your boss can.
You're not being arrested.
You're not being arrested.
Told you can't work.
There are consequences to what you say. You just can't be arrested for it.
Well, he got deep with his.
He did.
I mean, he got really deep. I mean, I was just trying to talk about one that was like that you look at and you're like, that's silly.
Mine is the whole cloudy skies thing. I'm a cloudy sky and I'm always quick to point out to anybody that says skies, look up. If you can see more than one, then you can say skies.
That is definitely one that you are
pretty emphatic about.
You mentioned numerous times.
Numerous times, yeah.
Yes.
Again, it doesn't make it right.
Even though the rest of the world says it one way.
I'm going to go oppo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, I say book rule instead of ground rule.
Right.
But I'm completely fine with the rest of the world saying ground rule. Ground rule.
What I find interesting.
It does not bother me one single bit.
What I find interesting is every time somebody says now ground rule, some people on this station, they point out that you would say book rule. And even though you're correct, they seem to be pointing out the fact that you say that, which befuddles me.
Haxton just he cannot say book rule. He
flat out
cannot do it.
Yeah.
This one's actually pretty good. People calling something the first annual instead of the inaugural or first ever.
Mm-hmm.
I completely get that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just drove by Buddy Holly Hall. I can see a tornado, but why would they put that on there? It doesn't make sense because it's a B and an H.
Well, go back to what Bobby Hot Dog said here. He's educating us. Just read an article about the Bobby Hot Dog's Hall before it was built. Said that the building would also serve as a memorial to tornado victims. So I'm sure the logo was intentionally made to look like a tornado.
But it's a B and an H. It's how he signs his B and an H.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah. Clay says this. I can see the lucky lady and the daughter rolling their eyes. Well, I was driving, so I couldn't see them rolling their eyes. Unfortunately, the young phenom was in the car, so he got to see for himself. Hey, what's this crazy dude all about? And his brother as well. So it was a family excursion. Somebody wants to know if I was born closer to Arkansas or Kansas. Kansas, just across the Missouri River. That's where I was born. And you could, literally, probably in some aspects less than 2 or 3 miles from the state line. So there you go. Didn't seem that kind of deal there. Jamie seems to be outraged this week with McGuire using Coach McGuire using coach speak with the quarterback situation.
I think it's a fair criticism. I think outraged is too strong.
Outraged is too strong.
Yeah. I think it's fair criticism of me, though.
Yeah.
That it's something that
I've been frustrated by that too.
I don't think it's coach speak, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, I don't either.
But whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'm thrilled that we have 3 quarterbacks that we can win with,
right.
and
or appear to win with.
Okay. Well, Tyler Shuck, I guess, hasn't won a game yet this year.
Yeah.
And I'll also say this: whatever, quote unquote, coach speak or whatever is going on, I don't worry that they're going to do those things. I think they'll do the right thing that helps the team win. I have all the confidence in the world in that.
Right. They're not.
So whatever they're saying that's ludicrous, I just think they're just saying it. They're not really doing it.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I would not have as much confidence in the coaching staff as I have.
Yeah, because I'd be completely shocked if anybody other than number 2 trots out there for the first snap.
Yeah.
I don't care how good the performance is this week. What?
Yates Flooring Center chat line. Jamie is outraged by Spotify existence. What did Spotify do to you?
Surely you guys have heard this story, right? When the 17-year-old at the time was, 15, wanted a Spotify account. And I told her very emphatically, why would I pay for something? I want to hear these songs, Dad. I want to listen to this music. And I said, why would we pay for that? I said, you can just turn on the radio,
right? And
there's stations that will have those songs that you like.
Yeah, this is kind of my.
And her answer to me was, Dad, nobody listens to the radio. And so Spotify is like the devil.
And I'm sure glad.
And by the way, she pays for the Spotify account, not us. She pays for it.
Chuck, with the ultimate millennial move, get offended about something he knows nothing about. Okay, I already read that story.
That was a good one, though, so it was good to double up.
Double up on that one.
we could read it again here in about 5 minutes. It'll still be good.
I would have loved to have been in that post game. Chuck's incorrect musings car. It was. I mean, that's God is my witness. That's exactly how it went down. And they looked at me and somebody says, "It's just Google the Buddy Holly logo. Definitely looks like a tornado."
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.